Yep, she's a runner again. Hey everybody, welcome back to Ogre Speed Shop. So it's time for us to dig our heels in to really get moving on. Getting this 1970 GMC on a 1969 Chevy C30 chassis converted to four-wheel drive back up and running. So we got to do finish brakes, we got to finish pedals, we got to do electronics, got to get her running again. So we got to do everything, fuel system, all that good stuff. Get her all put together. And we're gonna leave the fenders and everything off of it until we get everything else on there. That way I can access everything easier. But that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get this thing going now. So we're gonna get start with some interior stuff. So let's get into just doing a little bit of cleanup on the firewall. Found some rusty areas that I ground down and put some of the Rust-Oleum self-etching primer on it. It's always good for bare metal. Even like it's good for even fiberglass, you know, because it'll adhere to the metal or the material better. So you can paint it better and nicer. So there's a few areas on the firewall that was actually thick rust. If you look at this, that looks like thick rust, but that's smooth. So it's almost like somebody had sanded it down to make it look that way, or just, you know, just the way it's wearing. But the smooth rust I kind of want to keep. I like that patina. So same with the doors. This is all smooth. Well, mostly, you know. So try to keep the patina as much as I can. I'm just going over some of the bare metal with the rust the self-etching primer. So that's what we're doing, because I am getting prepared to put the pedal assembly in. And we have that all nice and cleaned up and ready to go in. You can just find the parts to go to it, and I think it's all right there. So this can go in, because I think I got the hardware right there for it. And we can at least put the top bolts on until we get a master cylinder or a booster, depending on what we go with. But I did a video, a real short video. I haven't put it up yet, but let me know if you want to see it on how to assemble this when it's completely torn apart. Because I tore it all the way down and painted everything to make it look good. So I still need to get pads for it, but that ain't a big deal. So we get this in, because in order to get the steering column in, we need this in because it goes in between this, or under it. So let's get this thing put in when that dries. All right, let's get this pedal assembly put in. I got two of the nuts here. I'm missing the bolt. Isn't it always funny how you have it and it gets in the way, then you go to need it and it's not there. So we'll worry about that in a minute. These go on the outside. Let me put these out here so they're ready. There's a bolt right here that mounts to the firewall up in here. And I don't know where it went, but I did have it. I just don't know where it has gone now. What the heck? Can't find the hole. Then it gets caught. There we go. God dang. All right. There's two more bolts that hold this down here, but that holds the plate and everything else and the steering column and everything. So let me get those nuts all started. That way it doesn't fall out. Not enough thread. There's one. I know if I push it through with the washer on there, it's going to lose the washer. What's up, Bit? What are you doing? Grab something to tighten those down with. All right, so the pedals are mostly in. Just got to find that bolt. Once we get the steering column in, then there's a plate that goes up underneath here that also bolts up, and then where the bracket for the steering column actually bolts up too. But we can actually, get the steering column in now if we want to. Or do we want to wait till we have the brake goes on the outside? I think we'll be all right having the steering column in there. Yeah, because then we can pretend to drive it. It's really not that far from driving. I could literally put power to it and put some fuel in it, and it would work if I just had a clutch and a gas. So not a big deal because we did have it running before. Just a matter of hooking everything back up with a cab on it now. All right, so I found the bolt and I painted it and made it look nice and threw it up in there. See it right there. And I also hooked up the shifter or the clutch rod. It's kind of neat because it starts over here. It goes over here and the attachment's on this side and it goes down through. And it comes out here and attaches to the clutch pedal to the Z-bar. So it's kind of neat. It's on the opposite side of what the pedal is actually on. And I need to twist that a little bit and make it straighter. But I'll get around to that later. It's not a big deal. It works, so I'm not too worried about it right now. But could definitely use a little twist to it, I think, to straighten it out a little bit. But overall, we got that done. Yes, I need boots and everything, but I don't have them. And I'm not too worried about that for the show. You know, I can deal with a little bit of extra air coming in. So we got the pedals in. I think I'm gonna put the steering column in too while we're at it, just because. Get that out of the way, and then we'll be able to steer it. And then we can start worrying about electronics. Now we're gonna go ahead and set this steering column in. The brackets, I decided to paint them, so they're drying at the moment, but it doesn't stop us from putting this in. I'm not going to paint this because it matches the truck too well, and it's not bad. It's not rusted out anywhere. Might clean up the outside here, and then go from there. But other than that, so let's get this in here in a temporary location. Went past the. You can actually hook it up out front, out in the on the steering box. So I'll move you around to there, so you can see that. So this is the actual power steering box off the square body that this front end came off of. So probably gonna need changed, but it hooks all the linkages and everything. And I don't know, like it was full of water when I got it, so I don't think we're gonna be using it. But it steers, so can't really complain about that too much. I got a big, huge burn on my thumb, so I can't grab a hold of nothing with it. Gotta remove these bolts here. I'm sorry, the nuts. This looks to be about 180 degrees out. So these rag joints actually have, I got a brand new rag joint I should put on, but this one's not bad, so I'm not too worried about it. You just get the lock washer off, there you go. Oh, that's why it hurt, because I got a hole in that glove too. All right, so one of these holes is 5/8, I'm sorry. One of these holes is 5/16, one is 3/8. So you gotta make sure you just line them up with the right holes. Right now, like I said, we're about 180 degrees out, so we just take and turn this. That should do. Trying to get that screw to go, or the bolt to go up through. It's got a shoulder on it, so you got to get through that hole and then up through the other hole. You get the one nut on at least. Hold on. It's a little pry bar action. I'll take care of it. That's one. Here's a 3/8 24, so 3/8 fine thread bolt. Get the lock washer and everything on. Should be. This is a 5/16 fine thread too, so it's a 5/16 28. But they're both 9/16 headed bolts and nuts. There you go. Steering column is hooked up to the steering box. Once the bracket's dry, we can hook the whole thing up. And so the bracket you use to hang it is this little thing right here. It's kind of a weird angle one. It just goes up in here. There's a hole right here and a hole right there that it goes up into. So just got to make sure you get it up in there right, in the right direction. So I think it's that way. Does it even go the other way? No, it doesn't. So it can only go one way. And I'm just using standard, some grade 8 bolts because I have no idea whatsoever where the bolts are for this. don't know if I ever had them. I might have. I was saying how hard it is to use your thumb when it's got a freaking hole in it. I have a tool for this somewhere. God damn it. Ow, God dang it. Ah, come on. Oh, please tell me that's it. It does have a notch in the very top of the steering column. It needs to be lined up, otherwise you can't get to go up in. Ugh. Oh yeah, it's definitely not lined up. There you go. I can't see nothing. Dang it. Had it started and I had the stupid gun in reverse. I don't know why this is being so difficult. Other than it's not attached anywhere else. Figures the one time I try to record this, it gives me problems. Never had issues like this. Alright, whatever. Okay. Let's move around to the front and get that bracket on there. Maybe it'll help. So this plate goes right on top of here. It takes a longer bolt than what I grabbed. But also, it gets pinched underneath the brake bracket, so get one of these started if I had a thumb. So if you want to wonder when I'm complaining about my thumb, that's right there. That's not a cut. That was a burn. It burned that deep, and now it hurts. Did it reach? Barely reaches, but that ain't gonna be long enough. I got longer. It's okay. I'll go with an 1.5 inches. I gotta see if I can. I do have a seal that goes in this hole right here, this pie-shaped piece. I do have that somewhere. I think I do. Last I knew I did, but doesn't mean I still do. So that's your firewall bracket, and then you got this clamp thing right here that goes around that. You can see the witness marks as far as where it's lined up originally, so I'm going to put it right where it was. So that way, everything lines up where it's supposed to. You got to wrap this kind of around it to get to it, and I don't want to tighten it. I want to loosen it. Something like that. Push it up in, and you're bolting your nut back through. Just did it again. Change the direction of your gun when you're trying to tighten. Always point it down just to keep it out of the way. Up and all the way. Let's go in the right direction. There you have it. Steering column ain't going nowhere. Now it should be easy to bolt up the clamp underneath the dash. I'll tell you this much, doesn't hurt or doesn't help having a thumb that you can't use. So I feel bad for all the animals out there that don't have opposable thumbs, because this sucks. That's the key. Hook up the firewall clamp first. It went right in that time. There you have it. Steering column installed. And flip a look to see if the slot was lined up. Looks like it. There's a slot in the steering wheel down here that actually lines up everything, and it keeps it from rotating. Looks like our steering wheel's upside down, but that's okay. That's easy to change. Boy, what a hassle that was, huh? I know you're not going to see the whole thing, but it was a hassle. Let's just leave it at that. So this is the parts I have to work with. So this is 2 wiring harnesses. I think this one here is a better one to work with. And neither one of them have engine size, but they have the plug. So I have the plug for both. So I can make either one of them work. I have the connections that go into here to pin them. So those weird little flat ones. But I have a whole bunch of those from my last job that I collected over the years. So I can repin it and rewire it without any problem. So as long as the interior one is complete and more or less there, I can make it all work. So, and again, here's more parts. So we have throttle cable. Well, it says heater box, but that's actually steering wheel. The choke cable, that's what I had on it originally. You know, I got the cigarette lighter or cigarette ashtray. All these parts over here are parts for a couple handles. Thought I had all 4 headlights, but I have all the buckets. So I've got headlights from this truck still somewhere up there. So I just got to find the headlights. Got the gauges. I have oil line, a couple different pieces that'll screw into the back of this so that I can do a compression fitting to do copper line out to the block, because it's a different fitting on the back of the, let me see if I can find it. I just had a piece of it here, and I don't know what I did with it. I'll leave it over here. Oh yeah, there it is. So that's the style that goes into. It's not your, maybe focus. Can I focus on that thing? There you go. Well, it did for a second there. But anyways, I don't know why it won't focus. There's too much stuff behind it. There. So that's the kind of fitting that goes into the back of the gauge. But I can put any kind of fitting. It's just a standard 7/6 or what is it? 1/8 inch MPT where the sensor goes. So I can still run just a regular hard line to the gauge. This is gauges. That engine had idiot lights. So, but we can hook all this up. And I got a temp switch too. So the temp gauge works. Because I tried it on this one. So I know it works. So that's the sensor that I thought was bad, but this gauge was just out of calibration. So I fixed that now. So that sensor may work. If it doesn't work, then I just replace it. It's like $10. So we got everything we can do to make it run and drive and wire and, you know, have stuff. So we just got to do it. And that's what we're working on now. So I just wanted to share the importance of bagging and labeling your hardware. So those 2 bolts are not the factory ones, but I found them. So I found the original ones. So I painted and cleaned them up, painted them up. I'm also, because this is a wire run that runs, it allows you to run wires down the tunnel here, because it attaches there, your wires come out here and go down and back to the back for the tail lights. So what I'm going to do for that, because they're usually coated so they don't chafe the wires, I'm going to take some heat shrink here, stick it over top of it, shrink it down, and then it'll rejuvenate its ability to not chafe the wires. So let's do that real quick. All right, so I'm just going to stick that over top of it, run it down around the corner, maybe. All right, once you get it up there, you just take a heat gun, or people use torches, and the cord's kind of short, but just heat shrink it on there. Now you got a protected wire run. That's simple. All right, so I'm sitting here, as you can see, sitting on the floor. Going through the two different wire harnesses I have. This one over here is actually for an automatic. I can see the some of the wires. Well, for one, it's all chewed up. But that's the wiring for your neutral safety switch, your backup lights, whatever the heck that was too. Oh, that's your brake switch, the orange and the white. This one's here is all complete. It's not like cut up or anything. This one's got stuff kicked into it. I got this with some the extra parts, the doors and fenders I bought here locally on Marketplace, and he just threw this in. So it might be useful someday, but it's for an automatic. This is the one that came out of the cab, which is a manual, and all the plugs are intact. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and use this. What's really weird is the two plugs. So I'm not sure what year this came out of, but look at the difference in the plugs. And this one actually was on this one, so I don't know if it had been switched out or what, or maybe I put it on there at one point. I don't know, but this is the one I'm going to use because it's got the normal colors and everything on it. And a lot of them are just repinted anyways, but this is what we got so far. And but this can go, we can put this in now. I even have screws for it because I had 3 total. One of them was missing from that one, but it also had one. So we got 2 screws to put it, to mount it even, the original screws. It's kind of cool. So let's get that thing put in. All right, so the way this thing goes in is this big wire loom here, it goes to the top. So I like to run it through the gauge area here, just because most of this wiring goes up and over to the ignition switch over here, to your radio, to the heater, to the windshield wiper motor. And I'm not sure what the extra one is for. I think there's a light or something that they had there, or maybe that was the one that had the light on it. But either way, that's the way I like to do it, to make it just easier to put in. So it kind of holds it up in place for you. And I don't have a seal for it. Does this have a seal on it? The other one has a seal on it. No, that's something I can add later if I want to. Let's get her bolted up in here. And we'll go over what each one of the plugs does too. It should be a 5/16 screw. There it goes. Start in at least. I think it's not 5/16. It definitely is. Why do I make it so difficult? I have power tools. That does not seem to be screwing in. Must be stripped out. Let's see the top one. Why is all this stuff that should be really easy being such a pain in the butt? Yeah, they're not tightening down very well. They're through, they're just, they are stripped out. But it's in now. So hopefully you can see this. So this is your steering column plug. Your light switch. Down here's your dimmer switch, brake switch, and this is lighting. So your under dash lighting and your rear lighting. Come out here, that's for your gauges. That's your ignition. Did I say ignition? Yeah, that's headlights, ignition. All these crazy colors here, those are your heater. I'm actually going to depin this because and wrap that because I'm not going to do a heater right away. And the blower motor wire is pretty frayed, So I'm gonna have to replace that harness. Actually, I think I have like 2 of those from other kits laying around. So then this one here is radio, which I have, but I doubt it really works. And this is your windshield wiper wiring and washer too. And then your only little ground here that just clips onto the frame of the dash, and the bulb for your heater controls. So real simple harness. I mean, everything's there that needs to be there, and you just gotta figure out a way of making that thing screw in better. Shouldn't be too hard though. But yeah, there you go. Got the harness in. This needs to go up and over. Like I said, I'm gonna de-pin this one right here just to get rid of it. That's the way any aftermarket harness comes, because this the brown wires are main power into your heater. And I'm probably looking like an old man right now. I guess I am an old man now. But they come separate. You pin that in from to replace it. So because that's your main power into your heater stuff. So yeah, that ought to do right there for now. So it's actually time to install some new parts. What is that new part you say, you ask? That would be a new ignition switch. And I got this from CarQuest from Yao Auto Supply. Local here in Elk City. Well, I'm not in Elk City, but you know what I mean. Let's see, what's the best way to do this? Probably like this. So you have your switch, and you got this little adapter plate thingy that goes over your switch. Then you have the retainer screw that holds it in. And these are tabs, and they only go one way. I think I marked the top part of it. Did I? Maybe not. But you just got to rotate it till it locks into the tabs that are on the dash. That's it right there. The steering wheel is totally in the way. So I'll make sure you get it started straight. Boy, the positions I put myself into so you all can see what I'm doing. It's not one of those cases where not having a thumb is a pain in the butt. Or in this case, a pain in the... What is that? I can't hold on to it with my thumb. I don't know what my dogs are barking at, but what am I doing here? Ouch. Wind up room. Remember what I was saying earlier about it? Why is everything being so difficult? There it goes. So I can't use my right hand. I'm going to have to come in from this side. Hopefully I don't block your view. So I can hold the back side of it with my thumb, but I'll get a screwdriver to help. So they do make a tool designed specifically to screw this on. Ow, that hurt. I just jammed my collarbone into the freaking steering wheel. All right, so I got that switch installed. The camera cut off on me because my alarm went off, but now the next thing is I got this kit from O'Reilly's, and it's a LockSmart part number LS48700, and this is complete with the door locks and the ignition lock, all matching keys. That way you don't have to worry about the one key. But the way you install this, it's real simple. If you see that little pin right up in there, that's how you pull this key out, but you have to have the key to do it because you have to turn it counterclockwise past the accessory to make it work, and that'll turn it. You push something in there, and that'll let you turn it past the accessory, and then pull the key out to be able to change the lock cylinder if you need to. So again, it's super simple. Can't talk this morning. Again, my thumb ain't working, so I'm gonna use my left hand. Hopefully it's a little bit easier to do. But if you see that little hole right there on that cylinder, you just line that up, stick it in there, turn it, and it is locked in now. Well, maybe not. like I said, why is everything being so difficult? I had this working off the truck, and now it's not working. Okay, I'll be back. All right, so I thought I was having an issue with this. I thought something was wrong, but I think it was just kind of stuck from being new. So, because it was going in, but it wasn't allowing it to turn. So it does go in and click, but it wouldn't allow it to turn. It still doesn't. But now you just got to give it a little extra loving. So I think we're going to lube it up a little bit just to try, but it's working now. So you got to get it put back in. It's just really tight coming to that spot right there to the run position, which I guess isn't a bad thing, but you know, it's one of those things that's just like, I'd rather it be a little bit easier. My other one's like super simple to do. But let me get this back in and I'll bring it back when we go to put the lock cylinder back in this time. So one of the things I didn't mention is when this thing's in here, there's a ledge in here that locks this outer ring into it. So that's what prevents you from somebody just unscrewing it and getting the lock cylinder out. So, you know, to bypass it. Not like, you know, 60s, 70s technology is pretty easy to get around, but that was their safety back then. It's just like a little ledge on there to prevent you from, you know, unscrew this and pull your key out and you got to get in there with a screwdriver. But, you know, 1960s technology, well, it's still pretty obsolete at this point. So, all right, so I spray a little lube down inside there. So let's hope it, that's what it needs. Goes in. There we go. All right. There's off, there's run, and then start. And accessory. It's just really tight. So that's a good thing in some aspects, but you know, sometimes it's pain in the butt. But the ignition switch from CarQuest is part number CSC1145, and the lock kit from O'Reilly's is LS48700. I am not sponsored by either O'Reilly's or CarQuest, just so you know. I just want to show the part numbers. The ignition switch is the ignition switch is now installed. So we just got to plug stuff in now, and we should have power. Well, you know, once we get everything wired up out here. So, all right. So I'm going to show you real quick and how easy it is to deep in these wires. If you look down inside here, you can see that there's little tabs. Well, you can't really see them, but there are little tabs down inside here. And all you got to do is press those tabs and kind of squish them down. And it's where it works best to have like an actual pin-out tool like this. So you just take it and push it down in there. Bend that tab up. And it pops right out just like that. So now this harness can either be repaired. I can always replace that whole wire and repair it, since they obviously tried that once, or it just melted. And because you can see it's like orange here, and well, looks tan, but it's just because it got hot. That wire's melted. So I can just replace that and use this harness for the heater controls, or get a whole new harness. Like I think I have like 2 or 3 of them here, because I've got 3 vehicles I've done wiring on that we didn't use the heater wiring because it just needed a vintage air style where just one wire that activated it. So I'm going to tape that up or put some shrink wrap on it so that way it doesn't short out, because that will have live power unless I pull the fuse, which I could probably do. It'll have its accessory power, so when you have the key in either accessory or in run, they'll have power to that. So, but I just want to do that, show you that real quick. I think the next thing we can do is put the accelerator pedal on, but I got to take it off of my contraption over here first that I had. If y'all been following me long enough, you know that this was actually a running, driving truck without a cab on it, and this is my contraption that held the brake pedals, all the pedals, and then there's the accelerator pedal we got to get off of there to reinstall in the truck. So the gas pedal mounts pretty easily. It mounts from the outside, and the lever goes down through that hole right there, and then you bolt it in. But first things first, I got to find the bolts, because I don't know what the heck I did with them. I found some screws that work. They're just like a machine screw with a 3/8 head on them, but I don't think they're the same style, but I know I have specific ones because it should have another one of these tabs like that for wire run. So I just don't know where I put those. They're in a bag somewhere. Just don't know where I put them. All right, so I'm gonna try to do this one-handed here, but you see that clip right there? Gotta take that off the lever and hopefully don't lose it. I don't know if this is broken or I think it's missing a piece, but it's gonna go through the lever. Oh man. It's hard to do with one hand. It goes through the upper hole of the lever, and this little ring goes around that part of the linkage, and then it clips up on to hold it together. So now we should have our gas pedal. I don't have a gas pedal, but oh yeah, works perfect. So there you have it. I got a wrench that I gotta order the little balls that go down here that hold the pedal, and then an actual pedal. But I'm not too worried about that this time, so. It's one more thing installed, and that will be functional. So I found the bolts that actually go to the gas pedal. You see what I'm talking about, that little tab? And they're not machine screws. They're actually, they're 1/4 bolts. So hopefully I didn't screw up the holes in the firewall for these. But let's get these actually put on. All right, so we got those proper bolts in now with the wire hanger. I also reversed this. I turned it around, and because it was kind of kicked off like at an angle. This is more straight up and down, so you kind of want your accelerator linkages to be as straight as possible so it doesn't bind. So that's what I did. I just took it off and spun it one and put it on the other side. So instead of going this way, it was this way now. And it all works the same, so just wanted to share. All right, so we're going through and checking the wiring, and I'm just basically checking the continuity to the switch. This is your ignition switch. There's basically 4 wires coming out of it. The tan I gotta look into, figure out what that one is. That might be I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that. But the pink wire is your ignition. Brown wire is your accessory. Red wire is your main power in, and purple wire is your start. Those all check out, so we have them all here. The only thing we gotta do is this right here. That's a resistor wire, which is designed to reduce the voltage going to your coil. But this has HEI, so it needs full 12 volts. So I'm just gonna depin that one, just like I did originally. If you go back and watch the original videos on this, when I still had the white body on here, I repinned it with just a regular cable, which is this one right here. So that pink one right there, I think it's pink, maybe orange. I don't know, it was what was in there when I got the truck out of the oil field, but I'll repin that to go into here, so it'll be a solid wire, not a resistor wire. So got that one, that's your ignition, this is your main power in, this is your accessory in, and then the purple is your starter wire down here. So that's what we need to make it run, that's it. So that's what we'll do. And we get all the rest of the stuff kind of wrapped up and routed nicer. So when we get all the fenders and the front end on it, it'll all look good. Got the voltage regulator. Yes, it is an externally regulated alternator for now. And I don't like one wire. If I'm going to do anything, I'll do a 3-wire. But yeah, so that's what if I want to do an internal regulated. But yeah, that's what I have for now, and it's what was the cheapest at the time. So that's what I went with. So those are the wires that go to that. So that's red wire that's your main power in. The brown wire is your accessory. It goes to the alternator as well. And like I said, then you got we got our start wire there and our ignition wire there. So those 4 wires hooked up and this thing will run. So we're gonna get the front fender, at least the driver's side. So we're gonna do the core support and front fender, just so we know where to make sure that we got enough wire to route to everything and make it, proper. So let's do that real quick. All right, so now we got that. We have where we can route the wires for where they're supposed to hang at. So this can go up into here, up under the fender like it's supposed to. because these wires run through here. There's a hanger right there and a hanger over there, so they run through, so they're not running up over top of your fender. It's kind of cool. So now we know where we're going to route everything. We can mount the voltage regulator where it belongs. This is a fully electronic one now. It doesn't have a, what's it called? It's not the solid state anymore. So we can just mount it directly to it. It's supposed to be isolated with rubber pads, but I'm not going to bother with that because it doesn't matter. So that's what we're going to do. We got a ground. I actually put my ground bolt back where it belongs, so I didn't lose it. That's awesome. So let's get that stuff mounted up. All right, so what I'm using to actually attach these, you see it sticking through right here, and I got one over here too, is these little, like, I don't know what you call them, little wire fasteners. So you just tape them to your wire loom here, and it allows you to stick it through a hole right there. That way it's held in place. So it just goes into there, kind of like that. Push it through and it clips in, and then if you need to remove it, you just pinch them together and pull it out. Pretty nice. You can get these on Amazon. I bought these years ago on Amazon, so when I was building the Firebird. But yeah, you can get them different styles. I got these white ones, and I don't like these ones. These are the ones I like with the removable, you know, the compressible clips. These are more like a Christmas tree style that, you know, try to get those out, they're gonna ruin it type of thing. So, ordered those by mistake, I think. I don't remember, it's been too long. But that's what I'm doing with these. So I just want to show you. All right, so I got all the wires routed. I don't have that one hooked up yet because I gotta still wire it in. I'm gonna show you how to pin those out with those flat. I'll show you here in a second. The connectors for that, because we gotta get rid of this resistor wire, get rid of that one. We're gonna pull all these out and put new plugs and new pins in it so they're all fresh and nice and new instead of a butt or splicing, or, you know, putting a butt splice or a butt, whatever it's called. Is that what they're called? I don't know. But anyway, so we're not gonna splice them together. We're gonna put a pin on it and repin it into the plug. So that way it's all good and ready to go. So these are the pins I'm telling you about, the connectors, whatever you wanna call them. That's what the flat ones are that go into this plug are. And, you know, then they slide into a normal, like, spade connector style, or not, is it spade connector? I think that's what they're called. So they go into one of these on the other side of that plug. So we got to put these on at least, well, 4 of the wires for now. Because we're gonna redo all of them, so that way they're all good and new. And we got a good get rid of that resistor wire, get all new wires in there. Well, semi-new. So that's what we're doing. These are kind of a pain in the butt to crimp. I know there's got to be a special crimper for them, but I don't have it. But I make do. I kind of trim off these little tabs on the ends here to make it easier to fit or to crimp. But it's too hard to show you that. But that's basically all it is. Those little connectors we use. All right, so we got everything wired. Well, not everything. We got the starter wire, the ignition wire, the main power, and the accessory wire. It goes to the alternator over here, all wired up. So now we got to test them to make sure they have continuity at the end of their line here. So I have the one wire hooked up to the main power over there. We're just going to go through and check every single one of them. Don't worry, I'm not going to make you sit through all the setup of it, but we're going to check that one first. So over here at the ignition plug, we're going to check it and see if it beeps. All right, we got continuity there for the main power. Let's try starter next. So this is the purple wire and starter. Good there. So I can get this onto the ignition wire here. If I can get it down in there or not. Let's see if that's touching or not. So this should be ignition. Nope. Give me a second. All right, I added a jumper so it could touch. So let's try it now. Good there. And the last one is accessory, which goes to the alternator regulator. All right, and the last one is our accessory wire, so the brown wire. There you go. So all 4 of the wires we just put through the firewall work and have continuity from the switch all the way out to the end of where they're at. So we are good to go at this point. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So we have them wired into the firewall plug now. Main power, your accessory, starter, and ignition over here. So The rest of the stuff is like lighting, brake switch, reverse lights, high beams, low beams, turn signals, and side markers. So that's what we got for this. So we got good power. So we could put power, we could put the battery in here and crank this thing right now if we wanted to. So maybe we'll do that real quick just to test it. So let's go ahead and get this key switch plugged in. Make sure it is the right switch. There's where the tab's at. That one. That looks like it right there. All right, cool. It's the right plug. Woohoo! Throw a battery in here and just see what happens. Good old die-hard battery here. I got from CarQuest. Not sponsored. Just like I said, the little mom and pop store that I like. Nothing catching on fire. All right, let's see what happens. It shows nothing in the way, nothing to get hit by the fan. We're just going to crank it. We don't have fuel to it yet. But I just want to make sure that the key works, because this is the first time this cab has had power to it since I've owned it. Make sure that wire doesn't have any power to it. Okay, let's try this out. Hopefully it's not in gear. Look at that. We have power. Woohoo! Nice. All right. That battery's kind of sounds like it needs a charge. It's been sitting on the shelf for a couple months now. So we'll get that done. And yeah, we could probably put some fuel to it and just pop it off real quick, but we'll worry about that later. It cranks. It's got power. Right on. So I just couldn't have that purple fender on there anymore. I left a little bit of it shining through, trying to get some patina, but I'm not good at artistic anything. So it'd be cool to be able to, like, you know, match the rusty patina on the other one. But even the color green I got isn't quite right. This is a combination of the etching primer and some satin green, whatever was this, Hunt Club green. So just, but at least it's not purple anymore. And it kind of matches a little bit better, you know, because I kind of added it, whatever. But eventually I'm going to paint the whole thing and make it all match, but I don't know what I'm going to do for a theme on that yet as far as it goes. You know, I still haven't decided on the other truck, so. But I just want to share that that fender is no longer purple. It's been a while, so I just want to see if this thing will fire up or not. I don't have any fuel going to it whatsoever. Everything's plugged in. So I'm just trying some starter fluid. Making a mess while I do it. Yeah, we need some fuel. Let me get some fuel hooked up. All right, I think we're getting fuel up here now. Maybe not quite. Close that up so we can hear. Can't run for too long because we don't have any coolant in it. Look at that. Oh yeah, there she goes. They just run out of gas? Probably. That's all good, but we'd heard her run. Yep, she's a runner again. I think that'll do it for this round of preparation for the truck gathering in April. So we got a lot done this time. We got the pedals, everything working, and we got it running again. This is the first time this engine chassis has run in this cab. So this cab is new to it, but everything's working now. We just got the ignition working, and it probably charges too, but I haven't hooked up gauges yet. But it's running a little long on this one, so I just want to make sure that everybody watches it and sees everything. So on that note, didn't quite stick to the original plan that I started with at this beginning of the video, but we still got a lot done, and we got a lot more to do. So next video, we'll get into hopefully making it driving. So if you like this video, leave a like down there, leave me a comment, let me know what I can do better, and subscribe while you're at it. What the heck, it's free. Tell your friends, share everything, and turn on your notifications so you know when the next video comes out. So for everybody who's been here till the very end, I really appreciate that. So until next time, I will see you later. So now I haven't said anything about it yet, but I did end up getting some stickers for the channel. So I'm not selling them or anything, but if you'd like one and you made it to the very end of this video, then send me an email at ogresspeedshop@gmail.com and send me your address and I'll send you a sticker. So you only got like 100 of them, not even that many now. So, but if you made it to the very end of this video, send me your email or your address and I'll send you a sticker. So again, thanks for watching.